Hi there, it's Arnie Gottfried here from MaxiMind Learning with a Q&A. I've got a question, a frequently asked question. I want to address it right here, right now. We use a multimodal technique. We're using movement, physical exercises, special music, special computer games, and we're getting a brain change, and kids are doing better with their ADHD traits, with their learning traits, with their self-regulation. But parents are asking me, like, you claiming that you're getting this through music, movement, and computer games. My kid doesn't make any sense to me. My kid plays with the computer all day long or some kind of electronic device. In fact, it's part of the problem is that he's too hooked on those devices. My daughter, she's listening to music all day long. She can just listen. The music doesn't help her focus. She's still a space cadet when it comes to schoolwork. My kid, runs around, jumping, running, never stopping, hyperactive. It's not helping. You want to give them some physical exercise outlet. So it's an outlet. It's not a healing. It's not helping anything. So how could movement, music, and computer games possibly reduce ADHD traits, promote focus, learning, and self-control? It's a great question. My answer has 5 parts. So be patient. Part 1, yes, it is fun and games, but let's look at it as packaging. What's inside the fun and games? There's a lot of things that are fun and games, and they're not all the same. Let me give you an example. We'll take pills, for example. Pills, a lot of parents come to me and they'll say, the pills are horrible. I'm not going to give my kid any pills. But what if I would turn to the parent and say, you know what, I've got a different type of a pill. What do you mean? No, I'm not going to take it. I told you already, I'm not into the pills. I'm only going to do something natural. Well, what if the pill had a special kind of oil called omega-3 or a special type of a mineral, magnesium, zinc, or there were special vitamins like B12 or C or D? All of a sudden, I'm going to get a different reception to the pills. So it's not the format, it's the content. So here too, the format is fun and games, but the content is different. That's my first point. My second point is that all these activities that we use have been scientifically developed, they're medically endorsed, they're widely used by the public, have been around for many years. I didn't invent any of them. What we did was we collected the best of the best and taught them to teachers, equipped them with the equipment, and they work with your child in order to do these sophisticated activities that are really very, very special, quite different than other activities. And that's where the proof level is. So they're proven techniques. The third is, there's a science here. The basic science is called neuroplasticity. When I was learning neuroscience in university, it didn't exist. But now, nobody knew about it. It did exist, it was only 45 years ago, but nobody really knew about it except the people that were researching it back then. Now, everybody's talking about neuroplasticity because it's a real thing. It's the brain's ability to change itself, which means the activities that we do can change our neural networks. And by doing the right activities with the right frequency, the right intensity, for the right duration of time, you can really upgrade those neural networks. What MaxiMind does is it does a multimodal package of network developing activities that strengthen connections in the brain so that these skills can emerge. So that is the third point. My fourth point is when we get into the details and how each one plays out, we work with the body to get at the brain. So you'll see over here, a child is doing sensory integration exercises. These exercises involve the balance sense, vestibular sense, proprioception, which is an understanding of your position in space and all the parts of your body in space. Sometimes these kids need a tune-up in balance and coordination, as well as focused learning and communication. Why? Because those more basic functions haven't developed enough to support the higher functions. Like there's a hierarchy of skills. So we need to lift up the building, not from the top. Nothing's going to stick. The tutor's going to have to come every day, kind of thing. He'll be forgetting every day. But we need to build it from the base so that the neural systems that support learning are strong. So that is how the movement works. Balance, coordination, visual perception, auditory processing, motor planning, cognition. It's really a whole brain workout with these hundreds of exercises. While the exercises are going on, we're not listening to just any music. Special selections of classical music. You've heard of the Mozart effect, probably, but the music is engineered. There's a wave between the left and right ears. So you're getting hemispheric integration. So the two sides of the brain are starting to communicate. These kids are weak in hemispheric integration. There's filtering for concentration and attention frequencies, or reading and auditory frequencies, or sensory motor frequencies, and different protocols of that depending on how your child presents. You know, we analyze that when we have a consultation, initial consultation with us. So we're going to attune the music to their needs at the same time as the exercise is happening. And what happens is, what the exercise is doing actively, the music is doing passively, and the result is a synergistic effect, which is more than each of them alone. So half a session is music and movement, and that's getting at neural networks this way. The computer, as you can see over here, child is wearing an armband, which is measuring brain waves. So this is neurofeedback-driven cognitive training. What happens with a normal computer game? Normal computer game is grabbing your child's attention and forcing it into some stupid activity which does nothing for your kid, and does it over and over again with better and better graphics and cooler noise and more emotional driving. Our games are the opposite. Our games will do nothing, or almost nothing. They're boring until you start to think. When you concentrate, your brainwave pattern is different. So these kids have to concentrate more and distract less. When they do that, they get a win on the screen. So that's a good thing by itself. But the games that they're playing in that situation of concentration are all of value for school, home, life. For example, we build the attention stamina. We teach them to filter distractions. We teach them to remain vigilant for an interruption, which may be unpleasant, to respond appropriately in a timely fashion, don't have a meltdown and recover quickly. By the time they finish game one at 3 levels, they are focus ninjas. And then we move on to auditory processing or social skills, or reading body language, or visual tracking, all kinds of hand-eye coordination, different skills that they actually really need. There's even an academic bridge game where you can bring their schoolwork in and it'll tell them if they're focusing on their schoolwork. So instead of some annoying adult bugging them to focus and attend, they're getting happy about outsmarting a game platform, but they're doing it using academic work. So those are some of the aspects of music, movement, and computer that are unique and build the brain in a different way. The 5th point is, yes, our games are fun and games, and it's not they're fun, but they're fun, and fun works for you. When a child learns under play, even an adult learns under play, they learn tremendously faster than when they learn under work conditions. So your kid is learning faster. The other thing is that the neural networks that are being built in sessions are being reinforced by joy. Joy creates endorphins, pleasure chemicals. Joy creates dopamine. Reward circuitry is induced. And what happens is the success pathway that was created by doing a complex activity that required attention and skill, created pleasure. You've got a coach that's a cheerleader, and not actual cheerleader, but behaves as one, giving them that high five or the smile or the recognition or the reward activity. And then that reinforces the neural network. Glial cells and nodes and high signal. It's like an information highway being built in the brain, and the construction happens faster because of the joy. So fun works for you another way as well. They will come to sessions more willingly if they know it's not going to be like, I don't know, like Sylvan Kuman or some kind of tutor doctor or whatever it is. It's not going to be academic work that makes them freak out every time you say it. It makes the academic work easier because they can process better. So going, because it's fun, is easy. You're working one-on-one with a brain training coach. So it's another cool thing, which is by the end, what they're doing is focusing, learning, and self-control become themselves fun activities because they've associated joy with the activities that you want them to engage more in. That's the opposite of their emotional experience with focus, learning, and self-control now. Now it's like, oh no, they're at me again. We're trying to reverse that. And 9 out of 10 times we can, to either a slight, good, great, or miraculous degree. So there you go. The last point is that those neural networks stick because that's how brain training works. They build skills on top of the scaffolding that we've developed during sessions. So the brain training course that they've taken is a gift that keeps on giving as they progress from year to year. Hope that helps. Have a great day.